Hello everyone, welcome to my informative speech. My topic is an album with a huge impact: folklore, forest, and quiet. I think everyone have heard the Grammy Award. In March 2021, the album Folklore won the 63rd Annual Grammy Awards. It indicated that Taylor Swift became the first female to scoop the Grammy Award 3 times. It's a landmark event in the music world. People may ask, why did I choose it as the topic of this speech? Taylor Swift is one of the most famous and popular female singers in the world today, and she has many loyal fans. I'm a big fan of her. I will buy every paid album of her as soon as possible. I have read many folklore reviews and looked up the album's sales figures on various official websites. So I'd like to talk to you about the huge impact that folklore has had on people. My speech concludes 3 parts: the album's creation background, the album's deep connotation, the impact of this album on people around the world. At first, look at part 1, the album's creation background. Written and produced during the first 4 months of pandemic lockdown, Folklore was the product of unprecedented circumstances. Swift scrapped her routine release of numerous singles and built up in favor of a surprise jump, opting for climbing pop. Her usual dairy-like songwriting was exchanged for storytelling of real and fictional characters. So it was an exciting challenge for her. Next part, the album's deep connotation. Taylor Swift injected many of her creativity, dreams, fears, and meditations into the song and later completed it with different musicians. She dreams up a host of characters to keep her company, and stepping into their lives brings out her deepest wit, compassion, and empathy. She said it was the first time and one of the only times that the time that we are living through is actually specific times. She thought that it's a product of all this, on reflection, and we are humans, and this was the first times in the bridge, singing, creativity, dreams, fears, meditations, with compassion, empathy, and so on. Part 3. The impact of this album on people around the world. What can people get from this album? I think people can see the doctor and patient in COVID-19 on this album, listen to the legend of the old house in America, reflect on the old love feel, and appreciated their life. Folklore taught people that the pandemic does not have to be filled with fear and uncertainty. The album remains relevant as we enter another rise in COVID-19 cases 1 year later. People are taking heed of its message to dive into the past, present, and fantasy to find comfort and peace. People can make the prolonged hours they have worthwhile. Everybody can have their own folklore. That's all I want to say about this music album. Let's review the main ideas and main points of this speech. To begin with, folklore is the product of Taylor Swift's inspiration from coronavirus pandemic. Secondly, the album contains her reflections on many things in her life. Finally, people can also get a lot of emotional resonance from this album. Of course, I hope that my audience can bring their own life experience from my introduction to feel the inspiration this album brings to you seriously. At the end of this talk, I sincerely recommend that you listen to this unique and high-quality album, go into the folk world of Taylor Swift, and tell your own touching story. Thank you for listening. The last page is my reference page. I think it's some believable reviews on some official websites, so I think my informative speech was persuasive, and we can get together to review this album. Thank you all again.